It's been a couple weeks since this came out, so now's a good time to check it out. Yu-Gi-Oh! Category Cavalcade, Ursarctics. Created by Digijex90, of course. I remember when Ursarctics came out, all of the hype of the first official Dark Synchro Archetype, and it flopped.
Welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Category Cavalcade.
Because that's always what happens.
This time, the archetype
most
we're
of the
going to
time
delve
what happens.
is my 5th favorite archetype. Just behind Thunder Dragons, Dragon Rulers, and a couple of others.
Just because it flops doesn't make it bad.
Ursarctics.
I do like the art and stuff like that. I mean, there's something cool about polar bears in space.
Is an archetype full of water
bears in space and
monsters
just
that are either machine, beast, or beast
Heck
warrior.
of bears in space.
They were introduced in the Ancient Guardian set in the TCG and OCG. With
where everyone got the
added
Drytrons
in
and
Burst
left.
of Destiny and Battle of Chaos. Also, as of this video, they were recently used by a character known as Yusa Shoma in the OC Structures manga series.
I didn't know he played them. Well, then again, I know he plays a lot of decks, but you know.
Are tripping level 7 or higher monsters from your hand to special summon themselves from the hand, even during the opponent's turn. And they pull off like the Dark Synchro summoning mechanic from the 5D's anime and manga with the whole subtraction mechanic.
Yes, there was Dark Synchro summons in the manga.
But the only difference is that they don't go into negative levels.
Ultima Azoka is a Dark Synchro.
Is that since they can't be synchro summoned, once the extra deck monsters are either banished or in the graveyard, they can't be summoned with cards like Monster Reborn. Also, if you were to use the main deck monsters effect of special summoning them from the hand, you're locked out of Xyz and Link summoning for the turn. Anyway, let's get to the cards of this archetype.
The main deck monsters.
Ursarctic McPolar. During the main phase, quick effect. You contribute one other level 7 or higher monster from your hand. Special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except monsters with a level. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Ursarctic monster from your deck to your hand, except for a copy of itself. You can only use each effect of Ursarctic McPolar once per turn. Okay, after this one, I am not going to read the first part of the effect, because all of the Ursarctic main deck monsters are just the same old, tributing one level 7 or higher monster from your hand, special summoning them from your hand, and walking out of Xyz and Link summoning.
The Ursarctic restriction.
It would have actually sounded redundant.
Right.
Anyway, I do like with this one, you can fetch another Ursarctic from your deck. And of all of the non-tuner Ursarctics on the main deck, this one is my fave.
He is really cool looking. No pun intended.
Ursarctic McTennis. If this card is special summoned, you can target one Ursarctic monster in your GY, except a copy of itself, added to your hand. You can only use each effect of Ursarctic McTennis once per turn. This is the only non-tuner Ursarctic monster in the main deck that I don't use as often. But I do find
the effect
cool
isn't
that
that great,
you can be able to recover one Ursarctic monster from your GY. So you can either summon it, or use it as tribute fodder for the other Ursarctic.
It is okay as a one-off.
Ursarctic Megabilis. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Ursarctic monster from your hand, except a copy of itself. You can only use
that's really handy, which means I don't have to pay for the other one.
Now, with this one, I like it for the whole special summoning the other Ursarctic monster without paying.
That's good even outside the Ursarctic decks. What part of special summoning a monster is bad?
Assuming you have
That's a rhetorical question.
Ursarctic Megapolar. If this card is special
this thing's
art. You control another Ursarctic monster,
Voltron
you can target one spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use each effect of Ursarctic Megapolar once per turn. Okay, I don't like how you have to have another Ursarctic on your field in order to activate the Detuners effect.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why?
Yeah, why?
You can use their effects during the opponent's turn, so I don't really get why this restriction is here.
I don't either.
Although,
because
Konami.
Konami.
One thing I will admit for sure is that the only way I would be okay with this if it was something like this. If this card is special summoned, you can target one spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. But if you do control another Ursarctic monster, you can destroy 2 spells or traps your opponent controls instead.
Yeah, that'd be nice. A bonus effect.
Aside from that, an MST on Lace is pretty cool. Especially if your opponent's decides
to there's a custom card made by Digi? Because the card text is actually readable.
Sadly, you can't destroy it all with it, but hey, it's at least something. Ursarctic Megabilis. If this card is special summoned while you control another Ursarctic monster, you can target one card in your opponent's GY. Banish it. You can only use each effect of Ursarctic Megabilis once per turn. I would have had it where you can banish 2 instead if you control another Ursarctic
Yeah, but
monster.
the card's fine.
But hey, at least you can pull up a DD Crow with this guy.
Yeah.
That would be one less annoying card to deal with. Ursarctic Megatennis. If this card is special summoned while you control another Ursarctic monster, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face-down defense
Book of
position.
Moon.
You can only use each effect of
If this
Ursarctic
thing wasn't a
Megatennis
tutor, you'd just be
once
like,
per
leave
turn.
it out and have Book of Moon instead.
Well, this one, I feel like it should have been a banishing a monster face down, so you can also get link monsters off it.
I don't know about
Assuming
picking
the
2
effect
monsters,
they
though. I feel like
But-
if you're getting
oh,
banishing
well.
a card
At least
right
you
off the
can use
field
this guy's
face
effect
down,
to
one is
disable
enough.
annoying continuous effects.
That's my opinion. On to the extra deck.
Ursarctic Polari. Cannot be
The main
synchro
thing.
summoned. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by sending 2 monsters you control with a level difference of 1 to the GY. 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. If this card is special summoned, you can activate 1 Ursarctic Big Dipper directly from your deck.
Which is their field
You
spell.
can tribute 1 level 7 or higher monster, add to your hand, or special summon 1 Ursarctic monster from your G1. You can only use each effect of Ursarctic Polari once per turn.
Teddy bears in
Okay,
space.
this is where the dark synchro gimmick thing happens.
Yep.
Funny thing is that you don't necessarily have to just use Ursarctic tuners for this guy. You can even use lower level tuners.
Which is handy.
Just as long as their levels are aligned with the non-tuner monsters that equal 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do think the effect of activating Ursarctic Big Dipper from the
The only thing I don't get about this archetype is why the
especially
frick
when
it
you don't
ties
have
in with
any cards in your
Drytron.
hand like Tower
Like,
Falling.
how?
Attributing a monster on your field to get another Ursarctic from your graveyard is decent as well. However, this cost can be altered, but I'll get to that part soon enough. Ursarctic Grain Cherry
This is
cannot be
sick
synchro summoned. Must be special
It's
summoned
dark
from your
synchro
extra deck
summon,
by
so it
sending
technically
2
is
monsters you
synchro
control
summon, but
with a level
semantics.
difference of 7 to the GY. 1 level 8 or higher tuner and 1 non-tuner synchro monster. If this card is special summoned, you can target up to 2 other cards on the field. Destroy them. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets an Ursarctic card you control. Quick effect. You contribute 1 monster from your hand or field. Negate the activation.
That's pretty handy.
I do like this card's first effect to pop 2 cards
Yeah.
on the field. Mostly on the
The
opponent's
negation is
field.
more of a, eh.
While that second effect is okay. But I feel like the negation effect should have been an Omni negate instead. But,
Yeah,
oh
the
well.
card should be even more
At least
busted.
you can negate an MST.
Eh. Some
Ursarctic
blind MST does sometimes
Sentient.
screw you over.
Cannot be synchro summoned.
That
Must be
seems cool.
special summoned from your extra deck by sending 2 monsters you control with a level difference of 7 to the GY. 1 level 8 or higher tuner and 1 non-tuner synchro monster. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters without a level that were special summoned from the extra deck.
This screws me over so
If your
many
opponent
times.
special summons on monsters, except for during the damage step, you can add 1 Ursarctic
You're probably supposed to
card
summon
from your deck
Search.
to
Sounds
your
good to
hand.
me.
You can only use this effect of Ursarctic Cententrian once per turn. I will admit, this card's first effect is cool and all, but I do feel like it should also negate the effects of fusion.
Yeah, it
and
should
other
be even
synchro
more
monsters
broken
your
and get me a ham sandwich.
And
with-
its second
with
effect should be
stilts.
used whenever your opponent summons a monster.
I'm not saying the cards shouldn't be
But
better.
I
I mean,
guess
all
due to
cards
how
should be better,
special
but
summoning
still.
is common in the game these
Except for
days,
Tier Element.
the effect of being restricted to special summoning is alright in my book. I do like this guy's design and giant sword. Ultimate
Try to screw up a
flagship
sword and stuff like that.
Ursarctic. This card is always treated as an Ursarctic
I
and
don't know
Drytron
why
card.
this archetype really
Must be
decided,
special
let's team up with the
summoned
ritual
Ursarctic
archetype,
Drytron.
but
Once
that
per
has an
turn.
Xyz in
If
it.
another effect monster is special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can add 1 Ursarctic or Drytron monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can target 1 of your banished Ursarctic or Drytron monsters added to your hand. Okay, with this one, I have never, for the love of me, have ever played this card.
Yeah, I
And
didn't.
to be
No.
honest, I don't see myself playing this card due to
No.
for the fact that I play both Ursarctics and Drytron separately.
Yeah, you don't put them together.
Also,
That would be
banishing
even
2
worse.
fields to summon this thing seems interesting, since there aren't a whole lot of fusion monsters in the game that would require spells and traps to be used as material.
I mean, it's an interesting
But
idea,
despite
but
that,
no.
the thing might look cool, but I don't see myself playing
I
this
will
card.
admit that the card does
Ursarctic
look kind
Polar
of cool.
Star
Oh,
cannot be synchro
Those
summoned.
won't
Must
be
be
the newer
special
cards.
summoned from your extra deck by sending 2 monsters you control with a level difference of 1 to the G1. 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. You can tribute 1 level 8 Ursarctic from your hand or field in this card. Special summon 1 level 7 Ursarctic Synchro monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. And if you do, it gains this effect. Your
Bear's
opponent
Frowning.
cannot activate the effects of
Just
monsters special summoned from the extra deck that have a level. Okay, at the time the script of this video was being worked on, this card, along with another Drytron card, were recently revealed. Reading its effect at first glance, it seems decent, but I do feel like its effect should have been a quick.
it should have been even better
That
while
way
making me
it
a
could
ham
block the
sandwich,
opponent
but
from using
still.
other synchros and fusions, and extra deck pendulums too if the opponent summoned any from the extra deck. I might use this guy in the future, but who really knows for certain?
That's a fair point. Now the spells and traps. I don't think they have any traps.
Ursarctic Big Dipper.
Their field
Once
spell.
per turn, if your Ursarctic monster would tribute a monster to activate its effect, you can banish 1 level 7 or higher Ursarctic monster from
Which
your
does come in
hand.
handy every once in a while.
Each time a monster is special
I
summoned,
don't play
place
Ursarctics
1 counter
personally,
on this
but
card.
I
Once
know
per
1 or
turn,
2 moves.
If a monster is special
You
summoned
learn a move or two by
and an
accident.
Ursarctic Synchro monster is on the field, except during the damage step, you can remove all counters from this card, the minimum of 7, then target 1 monster your opponent controls. Take control of it.
I've never seen that effect be activated.
I do like with this card, you can banish an Ursarctic monster from your grave as an alternate cost for summoning them. Kind of a shame it's a once per turn, but hey, it still works.
It gotta balance
Also,
it
I
somehow.
do like this card's other effect of swiping an opponent's monster from them, albeit requiring to have 7 counters on the field spell. But due to how special summoning is common in this game for the most part,
They should just call it.
isn't
They really should just switch special summon with normal
Ursarctic
summon
Slight.
and just move
Target
on.
1 of your Ursarctic
special summon
monsters
is
that
more
is
normal
banished
than
or
normal
UG1.
summoning.
Special summon it, but it cannot attack. Also destroy during the end phase. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon except monsters with a level. You can only activate 1 Ursarctic Slider per turn. The only thing I'll have to say with this card is that I do like having another card to boost my reverse synchro summon.
Yeah, it's always handy to have a
Ursarctic
monster reborn.
Radiation. Activate this card by placing 7
Okay,
counters
that's
on
pretty
it.
cool.
Each time an Ursarctic monster
So that's
is
how you
special
activate the
summoned
field
from
spell.
the hand or extra deck, you can remove 1 counter from this card. Draw 1 card. Once per turn, during the end phase, you can target 1 Ursarctic card in your graveyard, except a copy of itself, shuffle it into the deck. You can only control 1 Ursarctic Radiation.
Okay.
It is interesting that tactically you can draw 7 cards if given enough plays in 1 turn, and you can
True.
recycle your Ursarctic cards. But it sucks that it has to be the cards within your graveyard. Because
Actually,
it
that's true
would've
because I
been
don't
cool
think
if you
it
can
says
build
a once per
recycle
turn
your banished
anywhere on the
Ursarctic cards as
drawing
well.
7 thing.
Also, it would have been cool too if you could be able to use the counters from the Big Dipper field spell as well. Ursarctic Departure. Discard 1 card. Add 2 Ursarctic monsters from your deck to your hand.
That's handy.
If you attributed a monster to activate an Ursarctic's monster effect, except for the turn this card was sent to the GY, you can banish this card from your GY instead. You can only use each effect of
That's a
Ursarctic
really handy
Departure
card. I
once
don't
per
need
turn.
more art.
I
There's a
like
lot of
this card
archetypes
for
that'll
not
be
only
like,
to get
yeah,
2
I'd like
Ursarctic
one of those,
monsters
please.
to your hand, but also to use it as an alternative cost for a summon of an Ursarctic monster. Ursarctic Quencher.
I forgot about that.
Once per turn, you
Because
can
I
pay
never see
700
it.
light points, then activate 1 of the following effects.
That thing is powerful.
Add 1
also.
Ursarctic monster from your GY to your hand.
Solar
Tribute 2
panel?
Ursarctic monsters, even if face down. And if you do, special summon from your extra deck 1 Ursarctic monster with a level equal to the difference in levels of those monsters, ignoring the summoning conditions. When your Ursarctic Synchro monster is destroyed by an opponent's attack, you can activate this effect. Your opponent must shuffle cards into the deck, so the total number of cards in their hand, field, and GY is 7.
Ugh.
I do think this trap card is okay, but if I were to make
It's
changes
that.
to it, I would have had the first choice effect to add an Ursarctic monster from the banner zone as well. And the second choice.
I mean, I
effect
guess
is
it's good
also
that he's
banished
giving
from
advice
hand
on how to improve the
and your
card,
graveyard
not
as
just
well.
being like,
So the whole
hey, you
reverse
should make this
synchro
card better.
summon thing
Aha,
does not
you
have
just
to happen
should.
only on the field.
Gotta give
And
Dizzy
with
that
the last
much at
effect,
least.
I would have had it to where the opponent only has like 3 cards in her hand or so. Also, it would have happened to any Ursarctic monster instead of just a Synchro.
You gotta make it
Ursarctic
equal 3, but that removes the
Special
7
summon
gimmick.
one ultimate flagship Ursartron from your
Because you're not summoning
by
it
banishing
legitimately.
one Ursarctic Big Dipper and one Drytron Sneer from your hand in or field. Although, you could banish one of them from your deck instead if Ursarctic Polari or Drytron Alpha Felbad is on.
This feels like an anime card. Like, you may have
trigger
stopped me,
the
but I'll banish
monster
2
to
fields,
activate
but
an
to summon my
Ursarctic
ultimate
or
boss
Drytron
monster.
effect, you can banish this card from your GY instead. You can only use this effect of Ursarctic Drytron once per turn. I already mentioned that I won't be playing the fusion monster meant to be summoned from this card, so my opinion on this card doesn't change here.
Yeah, just no.
With the exception of one thing. This card's second effect. Why? Because of banishing itself as an alternate cost, kind of like Ursarctic Departure.
I guess it's a foolish burial. Good, it's topic. That's not bad. Why do I like the
Now,
Ursarctics?
you might be asking, why do I like the Ursarctics?
Because bear.
One reason is because I like the whole Quasi Dark Synchro thing they seem to be doing.
Bears and Dark
The
Synchros.
reason why I say that is because they act like Dark Synchros in the way that they're summoned, just without the whole negative bubble thing.
True.
Anyway, I also do like the whole bear design they went with, along with for the fact that it's based off of the big and little different.
Yeah, that's a cool thing too.
But despite that, there's one major flaw with them that I
Give me
have
another
to
Big
agree
Dipper
with the
part, to be
majority
honest.
of the Yu-Gi-Oh player base. It's with how they, well, what's the phrase?
How wasteful of the resources it can be.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
It has
kinda.
to do for the fact that you have to use so much of resources from your hand in order to summon these level 7 Synchro Bears. Granted, there are cards that can help out with the Archetype, but still.
Yeah.
I feel like this Archetype may need some more support in the future.
There's a lot
As
of
an
archetypes that need a
example,
lot of support
they
in the
should
future.
be able to summon from the graveyard when tributing a level 7 or higher monster.
That would be helpful,
Also,
yeah.
not just from the hand, but also from the field as well.
Pendulum.
Another example is that I feel like they should have a monster that can treat level 6 or lower monsters as level 7 monsters while in your hand or field.
That'd be kinda
when summoning
helpful.
these guys. One more example, there should be cards for this archetype that can retrieve the Ursarctic cards from your graveyard and or your abandoned zone. But
There
aside
are.
from these flaws, I think the deck is kind of fun.
You went over some of them. Or did I imagine that?
If you are planning to make a deck out of this archetype, like I did here and there, here are some cards I recommend to use. Crystal Girl, Tidal Dragon Ruler Waterfalls, Mother Grizzly.
Is she even free?
Any other level 7 or higher monsters like Dark Magician, Red Eyes,
She, I mean,
etc.,
Tidal.
etc. If you need any other
And yes, I
tribute
just
fodder
assumed
for
it's
this
gender.
archetype.
Kill me later.
Trial and Tribulation,
Tulitin.
Salvage, and more I agreed. Although, if you want to be a Dark Synchro-esque fanatic like myself, you can also add an Ultima into Zolkin.
No.
Whatever useful Dragon Synchro to get
That's
out of
gay.
Zolkin's effect. And if you want to, Phantasma Lord Ultima Bushbokin.
That's fine.
But you'll need to have level manipulation cards.
Yeah.
What I recommend is the Star Chamber. Now, for the other archetypes to mix with, there is Drytrons if you like, and Ice Jades, I guess.
Well,
Although
yeah,
honestly,
but then you're just
I
gonna make an
never
Ice Jade or
really understood
Drytron
the
deck.
archetypes with Ursarctics.
Oh, and they make
that's
the
about
polar
it for this
theme, I
episode.
guess.
Do tell me what you think of this episode, along with the archetype in the comments below. The next episode is going to be about the Ursarctics' cousin, known as the Drytron.
AKA the one that was
So,
actually
until
good.
such time we meet again, this is Digi.
Though it was mostly due to Thubin, I believe. Was it Beta? Either way. I didn't know about the Big Dipper thing. Like, that was probably told to me before. I was like, oh, that's neat. Anyway. Yeah, this is a fine video, and I do like that you did that. I made side comments, snide comments, you'd been like, oh, we should make the cards even better. Oh, yes, it should be even more busted and have cards that goes out off the wall. But, at least you were giving advice, like, here's how I would fix the card, in my personal opinion. Not just being like, fix the card. How? Well, just do it. But how do we do it? Do it! Because that happens a lot, and admittedly, I'm guilty of that too. So at least you gave constructive criticism. I don't know if I agree with all the changes, but I see where you're coming from. This is a favorite archetype of yours, so of course you want it to be even better. And the Ursarctics, I kind of don't really have an opinion on. I don't really like them. I don't really hate them either. They're just kind of there, and it's just like they really were just a case of being like, oh my god, the new thing. Let's all play them right, and they're done. They are done. I mean, the people who genuinely care about them kept them, of course, but it's like, it's sort of like what happened with the Gate Guardians, where we're like, oh my god, this is totally amazing, but done. Happens a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh, to be fair, though. Just be like, hey, this is the best thing that's ever, bye. Unless they become meta. But that's another thing inside of itself. I do hope Ursarctic gets more support, though, in the future. I never want them to be meta, because then they're going to be busted, and everyone will be playing them, and you'll be sick of the Archetype by then. And to be honest, I don't even really know how to play them. Like, even though with this explanation, I'm kind of dumb. I probably have to like play them myself in order to fully understand it, but still. And I don't understand how this lore works. Like, I always had the theory that they were eventually they'd be at war with the Tritrons. Why are they teaming up together, and what are they fighting? Or are they just doing it to star travel? Maybe there was an expanded lore? I don't know. Whose stupid idea was it to combine the Synchro archetype with the Ritual Xyz one? At least when Raid Raptors and Phantom Knights teamed up, it made sense. They were both Xyz archetype and as an Arc 5 reference. This is just like, but why though? Either way, the Ursarctics, I like their designs, I like the ideas, and if you truly care about the archetype, that's great. I just have no general opinion on them. They exist, and that's as far as it goes. So, yeah. Till next time. Later.